and we will get started. Hello, Moonwolf. But yeah, we're just going to play this.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How have you been?
From beginning to end,
Today,
and then we'll
we'd
go
like to
back and
introduce
review
the Animal
notes
Crossing
and
New
such.
Horizons Nintendo Switch 2 Edition game, which adds features exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2 system. We'll also cover a free update that all Animal Crossing New Horizons players can enjoy.
The interesting thing is that
First, let's take a look at Animal Crossing New Horizons Nintendo Switch 2 Edition.
this section's only like 2.5 minutes out of like an over 12-minute video, so the free update stuff is where
The graphics
is
are
like
improved
the
with enhanced resolution.
that's like the big thing there. So
Here's a side-by-side comparison. Looking sharp, huh?
yeah. Well, actually, I will just
Switch 2
pause
players
through.
will be able to make use of Joy-Con
Well, I'll
2
pause at the
mouse
end of this, and
controls.
then the second part I'll be like stopping
You
frequently.
can use
So
them to redecorate.
if you want to see the
I hope
entire
this feels like
the
a
entire
more
presentation
intuitive way to
uninterrupted,
move your
go
furniture
go
and
watch
make adjustments.
go watch Nintendo's update of this. So
You can also use mouse controls when creating custom designs or writing messages on the bulletin board.
put too much power in the people's hands.
There's a new item available in Nook's Cranny, the megaphone. Use it to call out to your island residents with a microphone built into Switch 2. Lolly! Look at that! She responded. It's a useful item when you want to find your island residents, even if they're around the corner.
I'm
Until
looking
now,
something up.
Up to 8 players could meet when connecting online. But if everyone has the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, up to 12 players can meet up. With Game Chat on Nintendo Switch 2, you can chat with your pals while playing.
I've got an idea about something.
By connecting a compatible USB camera, your faces can appear in the game like this. That way you can see your friends' reactions while exploring your island together.
Let me see.
Animal Crossing New Horizons Nintendo Switch 2 Edition launches January 15th. Nintendo Switch 2 players who already have Animal Crossing New Horizons on Nintendo Switch can upgrade to the Nintendo Switch 2 Edition by purchasing the upgrade pack.
Okay, so one of the things I was looking at was like, okay, how many characters are there that end in like the OLLY?
Lolly!
Because I'm I'm thinking it's like, okay, how good is the voice recognition on that going to be? And I think there's two characters, Lolly and Molly. Pretty much, I was kind of hoping there would be more than just those two, because what I wanted to see was like, okay, just like a island full of characters that were all like Lolly, Molly, Ollie, and just like shout for each and every individual character, just just to see how good that is. And the other thing I am curious about, obviously this was the narrator,
Lolly!
doing that, but I'm wondering if that voice would actually get broadcast over the gameplay or not. It doesn't look like it will be, but okay. So before we get into the next part, just a couple things I want to kind of point out on this. I mean, it seems like the Nintendo Switch 2 edition is at the, fairly basic. I mean, just kind of like some of the necessary, well, I wouldn't say necessary, but some of the like standard updates that that you get in a lot of Switch 2 editions with, without like adding in a bunch of the additional gameplay. I know like some of the Switch 2 editions like the Super Mario Party Jamboree added that all those additional modes and everything. I think that part of that was just to kind of like make that worthwhile to actually purchase this. Um but it's like aside from the it seems like the Nintendo Switch 2 edition is mostly just like quality control updates. Like like the the mouse controls. That's actually pretty big. Especially when it comes to like like the decorating your house and also frankly like creating the designs, drawing on the message board. I know on my message board it's like some people, whenever we would have like get-togethers and stuff on my island, we would um there'd always be somebody on board who was just like taking a large amount of time, drawing something very elaborate, which may have upset some people, especially when people were trying to get off the off the island or trying to come onto the island because because the other people weren't able to arrive or leave while somebody was on the board. But I think this will like really help with just making that process so much quicker. The megaphone for you, yeah, built-in microphone. I don't know. Wait, say how does it actually say how much the item is worth? I think it does. Okay, 3,500 bells. That's not too bad in terms of a minor update like that. Um, but I'm wondering if there will be other uses for it other than just calling for characters. I think the megaphone is nice. How many times have you not been able to find a villager that annoys? Well, it's like I know that was part of the fun was just like running around. It's like wait, where's Hammy? Hammy's not at home. I don't see him on the island. Is he in the museum? Oh no, he's not in the museum. Where is he? And come to find out he's drinking coffee in the at the cafe and stuff. Beefcake. Yep, exactly. Yay, Hammy's catchphrase that I gave him. It stuck. Yes. But but it but yeah, it's like for those times where it's like yeah, you need to find a villager. That I could see where that is useful and stuff.
Use it to call out to your island residents with a microphone built into Switch 2.
Lolly.
Lolly, look at that. She responded. It's a useful item when you want to find your island residents, even if they're around the corner.
But yeah, hold on a second. Let me. Okay, I was just seeing if there was anything in the small print down here because because I have I have a thought on this.
Until now, up to 8 players could meet when connecting online.
Uh, yeah, on a good day.
If everyone has the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, up to 12 players can meet up. With games.
Okay, so I remember when I hosted some of my big events where we would get 8 players, total of 8 players on the island. It could run very rough if somebody had a spotty internet connection, where especially like as more people started joining the island, it became a little bit more and more precarious for the island to even kind of like hold itself together because the least little glitch and all of a sudden the island would crash, everybody would get kicked off the island, and and the event would just go to crap. So the fact that they're expanding this to, for Nintendo Switch 2 edition, the fact that they're expanding it to 12 players makes makes me cautiously optimistic that they've improved some of the online capabilities of this game. However, they don't really say anything about like whether or not that like loading screen will be shorter, or whether it will be just completely non-existent. Will people just be able to just jump onto the island without without interrupting the gameplay? They don't really go into whether or not that was a fix, which I know that was probably the single biggest complaint about the game was the on was how the online played with the interruptions with people coming to the island. It so I'm hoping the fact that they're now saying that, hey, you can have up to 12 people on the island for the Switch 2 edition. I'm really hoping that they've made some other, just other general improvements to the online experience. I'm
Chat on Nintendo Switch 2. You can chat with your pals while playing.
and the fact that you could like do the voice chat. I mean, I don't use the voice chat,
By connecting
and
with a
I don't
powerful
use
USB
the
camera,
camera
your
except for that
faces
one
can appear in the
time
game,
with the
like this.
except for that one time
That way you can see your friends'
with Mario
reactions
Party
while
Jamboree.
exploring your island together. Animal Crossing New Horizons Nintendo Switch 2 Edition launches January 15th. Nintendo Switch 2 players who already have Animal Crossing New Horizons on Nintendo Switch can upgrade to the Nintendo Switch 2 Edition by purchasing the upgrade pack.
I think if it's well, especially for like if it's Switch 2 users, depending on how much better the online play actually functions, I mean that there would be worth the price of like purchasing the upgrade pack. The rest of the stuff just seems like okay, little bit of quality of life enhancements. I don't know how much of it is, I don't know if it would be worth purchasing, purchasing the upgrade pack for all the rest of the stuff. Mouse controls, yes. Quality of life. Megaphone, yeah. If you want to save time and don't want to like hunt around for villagers, maybe. Gra- you know you know improve graphics. You know that's all well and good and everything. I think the big selling point for this would, which will be, we'll have to wait and see unless they like do another like video update to just like showcase some additional improvements, which could happen because they're not releasing this until January, so they'll probably have at least one more video just to just before the launch of these updates. But I think the online capabilities for purchasing the Switch 2, if they like really enhance that and either like drastically shortened or completely eliminated the loading process for new people joining the island, that there would make it worth the price of upgrading. The other stuff, not so much in my opinion. So, but again, that just crossed the 3 minute the 3 minute line, and there's still 9.5 minutes of video left to go. So the free update, the stuff they're giving away for free for both versions. This is the real exciting stuff. So let's get into this.
Let's dive into the free software update that will be available for all Animal Crossing New Horizons players. The free update will be available January 15th, the same day as the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Let's take a look.
Yes, let's. New locale, familiar faces.
There's a new facility opening on the pier. It's a resort hotel right on the water.
Oh, we can.
And it's run by Catton's family.
We'll be able to see who's in the crayon pictures.
Their goal is to work together to bring in guests from off the island. You'll help out by decorating guest rooms.
This kind of I will say, just kind of going into this section reminds me of the was it the Happy Home Paradise, whatever that update was called, except just on your island.
Decorate the rooms based on various themes to ensure guests enjoy their stay. For example, the theme in this one is Seaside Room. Furniture items that match the theme are provided. You can also use other furniture you previously obtained, so feel free to decorate however you like. There we go. That looks nice. What's this? We already have a guest. He seems happy with the room. Great work.
Okay, so this is one of the thoughts I had on that section. So in Happy Home Paradise, I remember that pretty much people would essentially, different potential villagers would show up on the beach, and they would just kind of be there, but then it's like, as you're working, you could approach them and see if they want a vacation home, and then they give you the details of what they want for their vacation home and such, and you model it after them. But anyway, I'm wondering if for this mode, if there would be a log of villagers looking to visit the island, and then pretty much depending on who will be showing up on which days, you then have to style rooms based off of their wants, and then if you had gotten that room style, potentially styled up to that particular theme, then they will end up showing up on those particular days. I'm wondering if it will end up being like that, very similar to how Hello Kitty Island Adventure handled island visitors. That could be. I don't know. We'll see.
After decorating a room, you'll earn hotel tickets. Exchange these in the souvenir shop run by Grams. Here,
And they all
you can
speak in
find all
pirate
sorts of
accents.
hotel-themed items and other rarities exclusive to her shop.
So, bunch of new items then. That's
By
awesome.
dressing up these mannequins, guests can borrow hotel outfits that are sure to brighten up their day. Recommend outfits that match your island's vibe or the season, so guests can make the most of their stay.
Can you design your own outfits?
You can even wear the outfits, and so can anyone else who might be visiting your island. Have fun bringing your fashionable outfit ideas to life.
I mean, fashionable outfit ideas,
At the
so,
hotel,
I mean...
you can scan compatible amiibo accessories to invite guests. Thank you for your hard work, as always. We hope you can unwind today and enjoy your stay. To increase your island brand recognition, Tom Nook wants to promote it with crafted DIY
Okay.
island goods. Check this box.
This next part, next to the online play, this was the second biggest complaint, and they are actually fixing this. So watch this.
To see which items to craft.
Okay, so
Once
general
you've
items.
gathered the necessary materials,
You can, instead of crafting one item at a time, you'll be able to choose how many items you can craft. I don't know. And they just kind of like, just breeze over this in the presentation. It's like, that is, that is one of the biggest things that, one of the biggest updates that people had been like asking for. Yeah, multiple fish bait, really. it's like, it's like you don't have to like craft 100 fish bait or 40 fish bait one at a time or something. And it's like, and I looked over this section just a couple times to see like if it's like, okay, is this a special crafting table? Are these special items that you're crafting? No, this is a general item. Wooden wardrobe, which already exists. That's the Ironwood DIY table. I don't know what that item is, but standard stove there and everything.
once
And
you've
when we
gathered
look
the
at the
necessary
DIY
materials,
bench that
it's
that
time
he's
to
using, which is right next to the home because there's the mailbox. She has mail that that she hasn't answered. But yeah, this is just a standard workbench, so we will be able to craft multiple items finally. That is the biggest. That is, even though there's all these new things, that's probably the thing I'm most excited about.
get crafting.
Made wooden wardrobe times 3.
Deliver the goods in exchange for hotel tickets.
But anyway, calm your excitement, Bob.
Captain will take care of the delivery, helping to spread the word about your island.
So and also it looks like that hotel's, yeah, it's just going to be built off of built off of like the side dock that Captain was already at anyway. So
Take your home storage to the max.
okay.
Until
So-
now, you could store up to 5,000 items.
So
But with
expanded
this
storage.
update, you can upgrade it 2 more times and store a total
Almo-
of 9,000 items.
What?
Now
9,000?
you can even store trees, shrubs, and flowers.
Now that's nice that you can store that
Well,
because
who do we have here?
I mean just being able to like, especially if you want to do like seasonal stuff, like taking down like the holly for Christmas, the holly shrubs, or other things, and essentially having to trash them in between seasons and stuff. It's be nice to just have like your rotating seasonal shrubbery and stuff. But then we get to see Resetti outside of the rescue and the
They
cafe.
started a new cleanup service. There are 3 areas that can be tidied. Let's have him tackle just the front yard of this house. You can also have him clean up any flowers or custom designs. Any items he collects can be safely stored away.
It's
just
mold
in case
time.
you need 'em later. Nice and tidy. Thanks, Resetti.
Hold on a second. Let me go back here, see what the yard looked like beforehand, because okay, so pretty much other than the trees and the shrubs, I mean that's like cleaning up like all of the equipment that you have set up, like all these leaves, all these items.
You can also have him clean up any flowers or custom designs. Any items he collects can be safely stored away, just in case you need them later.
Okay.
Nice and tidy.
Now, yeah, I'm not sure if that means like aside from the flowers, well, you throw away everything including the flowers, or well, I think it's just like the flowers are potentially disposable, everything else potentially go to storage. I think that's what they mean, cuz like if if like all those items that were there, like the grill, the shed, the if those were just tossed away, I think that would upset a lot of people.
Thanks, Resetti.
Here's the portion of the
It's been a
update I
long
have
day,
a
so
ton of
let's enjoy
questions
a
about.
nice, deep sleep.
At first I was like, is this the Dream Island
When you
stuff?
enter a deep slumber, Luna will welcome you and whisk you away to a new dream world. You'll wake up in a pristine, fresh location called Slumber Island. Here, you're free to do whatever you want. You can decorate your Slumber Island by using items you previously obtained. And even place plants and trees like this.
Essentially what this mode ends up being is a giant sandbox mode.
You can widen rivers, break down cliffs, and by talking to Lloyd, you can easily place bridges and inclines.
So you don't looks like you don't have to pay money
Select
for
the
them.
time of day and the weather. Then bring your island residents on by. Each player can build up to 3 Slumber Islands.
So three additional essentially
And choose
sandbox
from 3
islands.
sizes: small, medium, or large. You can also meet up on a friend's Slumber Island.
Okay, hold on a second, because this is where I was kind of hold on.
You can
This is where I was, well, for the Switch 2 part, I was wondering how much they improved the online services and everything, because a bunch of people are getting up from bed all at the same time. So is it something where it's like, have they improved the online service enough where that you don't have a loading, or or potentially maybe they updated the online so that you don't have to wait for like one person to arrive at the island before the next person can come. Maybe it can actually handle multiple arrivals concurrently. Maybe, I don't know. But the fact that all of them in this mode are all getting up from beds at the same time, unless that's staged, you know, it's something where like that that's some hope for some improvements in online
You can
play.
also meet up on a friend's Slumber Island and play together. Decorate with furniture to your heart's content. Work together to build a cliff.
Now, so the sandbox mode, unlike the your main island where people do not have construction abilities, this one you and your friend you and your friends could potentially just tear up the island together. I do wonder if there is kind of, you know, similar to like the friends and best friends type of thing, where you can kind of like have restrictions on what certain people can do on your slumber islands. I mean, this it just kind of like looks like a complete free for all, where it's like, okay, anybody who shows up to the slumber island while while you have online mode enabled, everybody can just come and tear everything up. So we'll see.
Or dig in to create a lake.
Yeah, yeah, like right here. Well, I see somebody with a shovel back here behind my picture. But I am wondering, this fence, all this fencing around here. I know that's a standard fence that you can have, but I'm wondering if you can actually like set up zones on each of the slumber islands where people can just kind of like go wild. because I'm coming up with some ideas for like, okay, could potentially have like special like obstacle course challenges that would involve like people like shoveling through, let's say like certain cliffs and stuff like that along a certain path in order to reach a goal or something. I'm trying to think of like some like potential like multiplayer game uses for those slumber islands and everything. So, I
You and your friends can build the island of your dreams.
although it looks like, yeah, like this is just
Let's go over some.
completely wide open. So so I so I can't wait to no pun intended. I can't wait to dig into that to see what to see what, if there are like ways you can kind of like scale back who can do what. Can't wait to trap you trap you on a dream island in between cliffs. Well, that was another idea I had, especially since you can if you can like if since you can bring your villagers on the island, if you can, I'm thinking it's like that would be an interesting like thing to set up for, let's say, like a game of hide and seek or something where somebody has to like dig through certain areas to try to find where the missing villager is. You know, so I've got a lot. Pretty much, I've got a lot of ideas twirling in my mind about how we could potentially use that.
Some of the new collaboration items coming to the game.
Okay, now this is kind of interesting. This part.
By helping at the hotel and increasing its island brand recognition, the souvenir shop will start carrying Nintendo products, including retro toys and classic game systems. With an active Nintendo Switch Online membership, you can even play a select classic game on each system.
Okay, I'm wondering if you set that up like where it's like you place an individual console, and well, since it does say that you have to have like the Nintendo Switch Online account, I'm wondering if this patches in to like the, let's say, like the Nintendo app, where like if you buy like the NES or the Famicom, you choose, you set that system down and you choose the game from like the NES app that you want to associate with that system. And then if you go up to that particular system, you can then play that game. Or, or if, that's kind of like how I could potentially imagine this working, because I know Ice Climbers is one of the titles on the NSO app. So I'm wondering if, since it does sound like it's like one game per system, I'm wondering if that's how it works.
Now that's playing with power. Additionally, via Nook Shopping,
Oh,
Lego
here you
items,
go,
including
Moonwolf.
furniture and fashion items, such as a sofa, a table, wallpaper, t-shirt, and more.
What would be super nice is if you could just like buy the individual Lego bricks and stack them in game to make to make. I know they have like the individual items like the Space Blaster game, the, the fireplace, the workbench. That looks like a little partition wall potentially, but it would be nice if the each like, let's say, each of those were individual bricks that you just set up how you wanted. That would be nice, but I think that might be a little too ambitious.
Will be available. They come in a variety of colors, so mix and match to find combinations you like.
I just noticed that here. Hold on. Well, first off, that bed, given those are Lego blocks, that's probably the most uncomfortable bed you could ever sleep on.
Variety of colors, So,
But there's that same partition wall, just in just in like different colors. In fact, the entire room is set up in that. I'm wondering if you can actually like switch back and forth between colors instantly, instead of just like replacing each of the item, like having multiple versions of the items, and swapping in and out. That, I mean, because yeah, I mean that is the exact same layout as that previous shot, which was, yeah, like you have your DIY table, the partition, the fireplace, game, couch, and then once you get up here, there's the fireplace, there's the game, this workbench, and even the flowers over here. It's the exact same. So,
the match to find combinations you like.
and there's yeah, the brown version too. Now this is fun.
The Zonai Authentication Crest, Triforce, plus other furniture and fashion items inspired by the Legend of Zelda series.
So this is one of the ideas that I am having for the Slumber Island. Just like make a Legend of Zelda level on the island. And that would be like potentially one of the obstacle courses, is just just like going going through a mini Zelda game that you build
Will
yourself.
become available by tapping compatible Legend of Zelda series amiibo.
Also,
In addition,
Tulin
and the characters Tulin
and
and
Minoru.
Minoru can visit your island.
So two new playable characters there from Legend of Zelda.
You can also invite them to come live on your island. Of course.
Yeah, so
And if you tap a compatible amiibo from the Splatoon series, Cece or Viche can visit your island. Seems like they're really into dressing up. They look a little familiar, don't they? Splatoon collaboration items will also become available. Use them to show off your true colors. The free update
Well,
for
there
Animal
we go.
Crossing New Horizons arrives January 15th. That's the same day as the Nintendo Switch 2 edition.
January 15th.
Well, what'd you think? With new features included in both the Nintendo Switch 2 edition and the free update, we hope you'll continue enjoying the island life. We can't wait for you to see everything new on the island, January 15th.
Okay, so one major concern. And I actually mentioned this last stream. This is all well and good and everything, and I'll come back to some of my thoughts on this. But now my biggest concern is, since they are releasing a major update like this, which we thought they were done with this game. In fact, they said they were done with the game, I thought. But given that we're getting a 3.0 update with a bunch of new content and everything, including like new facilities on the island, plus the whole Slumber Island thing, as well as the other like general updates for Switch 2 and everything, I'm kind of worried that a new Animal Crossing game is not in the foreseeable future. Especially if like the team had been working on like bunch of these updates, there there's a very good chance we may not see a new Animal Crossing game in 2026, let alone 2027. It it may be it may be like later 2027, maybe even into 2028 before we even get a new Animal Crossing game. Yeah, I'm almost kind of thinking that this update even though yeah, they're putting a bunch of new stuff into it, I'm just kind of wondering if they just knew that the next Animal Crossing game wouldn't be around for long enough where it's like, do you know what? We need to give the Animal Crossing fans something just to tide them over until we can reveal this new game. But I'm kind of worried for the future of like getting a new game. But at the same time, if they, if they if what would have been the new game is like delayed out, I am wondering if the new game will just be something that just surpasses like all of our expectations. If they're just like throwing everything they possibly can into a new game, which may mean hey, it takes a little longer. So, but hope it will be worth it when they do reveal it. We'll see. But anyway, what are your thoughts on everything that was shown here? I mean, granted, it's been a while since I've been into this game in a major capacity. I mean, granted, this was the game that started my streaming career, if you want to call it a career. But I am wondering, like, is this enough to get people back into the game? I think I think the big thing that would probably pull people back in, like older players like me who had played this game from the beginning, and then just went on to other things. Um, I think the Slumber Island mode would probably be the thing that has the best chance of pulling legacy players back into it, mainly because of just being able to have like so many people just doing crazy crap on the island all on the island at the excuse me at the same time without risk to damaging your main island. I'm I think that would be the thing that out of all the things that they showcased. I think that's the one that could bring people back. Slumber Island is also a way to have multiple islands with different themes. Yes, yes. I mean, there's always that. I mean, yeah, you could always, instead of like having a second system and creating a second island, that's for your own personal use. Yes, you could potentially like just create like so many different, like up to 3 themed islands, and then it's like if the game doesn't have the restrictions on like what people can do on those islands, then you could just say, hey, I'm just not going to invite people to my slumber islands. I'm just keeping these for me, you know. All and the fact that it's essentially sandbox mode, you don't you're not confined to like, well, you're not constrained to like waiting for certain things to develop over time in order to get the island the way that you want it to look. No, you just like, if you want trees, you don't have to plant them as saplings or anything. You just put a tree there. Line up a whole row of trees. You don't have to wait for the gyroids to create the ramps or the staircases. You just say, yeah, go ahead, put one there. You don't have to pay the money. You don't have to collect the money. Just like, yeah, yeah, let's just build it all. And yeah, you could just have, just like create those themes and everything. But like talking. talking about that, especially with like doing like the multiple themes and stuff, it does make me a little more positive that there would probably be some restrictions on each of those slumber islands for like having visitors over, whether or not you would allow people to just flat out destroy or even do anything to those islands. I think they'll probably have like some settings for restrictions, maybe even restrictions on like individual players or something. So, or potentially being able to set up those construction zones. We'll see. But but once we do get in there, I'm going to be putting it through its paces. That's for sure. But just think, it's like at that point, the game will be almost 6 years old, and we're just getting the 3.0 update. I'm wondering if this will end up kind of like being you know like an Animal Crossing renaissance. We'll see.